that outside of conference play much for the Dayton Flyers, but this is one of those occasions. And the home team has the opening tip, and Malachi Smith will bring the ball into the front court. We're underway. Starting lineup for the Dayton Flyers. Malachi Smith is the guy that really makes things go. We talked about Deron Holmes. Shot clock at 5. Blakeney on the baseline, right of the hoop, goes up, doesn't get the roll, rebound, put back. Kamara with the finish.
Strong on the glass by Kamara. He's been doing that better and better every single game as he's settled in here as a Flyer. You could see him getting his sea legs in the last couple weeks, couple months, and really has been a physical player down low.
Southern starting 5. Got a couple of transfers with the transfer portal. That's just become the way of NCAA athletic activities. Doesn't matter what the sport is, but a couple of transfers, they look to help them.
You know, that is the key now. You can't just recruit out of high school. You got to recruit other players from other teams who are looking to leave their schools. And Southern has, you know, been pretty good at doing that. This team can be competitive and really can play just about any arena in the country. If you sleep on them, they will beat you.
Flyers looking to convert in back-to-back possessions. Pass inside for Kamara, but there's a foul on the floor, and the clock will pause just a minute 7 into this encounter.
You know, Dwight, one of the storylines of this game is, can Southern compete with Dayton down low? Dayton is getting more and more physical as the season has gone on. They're athletic, they're big, they're long, they're lean. They get up off the ground really high. Can Southern compete with that? I mean, it's tough to get down low and have guys jumping around like these guys can do for Dayton. Can Southern stay in the paint and compete on the glass?
Shot clock at 5. Ball's tapped away, turned over, thrown out to midcourt, nearly lost, but possession kept by Bird, and he will be fouled. Team's first foul. Another sold-out crowd, as is the case throughout the 21-22 season. Right at the foul line. Williams gives the ball up to Sadler. Rotate into the corner. Some pressure there. Kicked out, 5 on the shot clock. Jumper just inside the arc, front rim, back rim, and the board's cleared by Kamara.
That time Dayton came out in a little 1-3-1 zone, really threw Southern off. They were able to eventually get a good shot, but you don't see Dayton play a lot of zone, let alone 1-3-1.
Lob over the top into a double team, and Kamara gets the ball and gets the foul.
And you can see Anthony Grant's strategy early. It is get the ball down low. Kamara's touched it a lot. Holmes is touching it a lot. Dayton going to the glass hard. I think Dayton perceives that they have an advantage in size and athleticism down low. They're going to press it.
Sadler, by the way, tagged with the foul. Seconds for Southern. Count it. Elvis from outside the arc.
Kobe Elvis, great shot, but a great pass as well. You can't sleep on the fact that Deron Holmes just made a great pass and really threw that ball out there and set up Kobe Elvis.
Pretty good look for Sadler, but for the second consecutive trip couldn't get his shot to go. Baseline, Smith, ball's up, shot is deflected. Good block.
Malachi Smith looked like he got bumped on the baseline going to the bucket. It could have been a foul. Official didn't call it.
And we have an injury and a travel.
Yeah, that time Elijah Weaver was driving. I think his ankle just gave out as he crumpled to the floor. Became a traveling call.
You don't see high-top sneakers the way you once did. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
You know, Dwight, I think it does a little bit. I mean, you know, the support that you get from, and I know I'm sounding old all of a sudden, but the support you get from those things is great. You know, and now it's 3/4. It used to be high, but now it's 3/4.
Three minutes in. Flyers up by 5. Southern has yet to score. Jags on defensively. Malachi Smith, Kamara, Smith, good ball movement, shot from the left side is too strong and it will not drop for Blakeney. But then we get a whistle and the ball will stay at this end.
Yeah, again, Dayton very active down low. First of all, great ball movement. You called it, Dwight. Dayton just moving the ball all around, forcing Southern to move their feet and stay with them defensively. Got a good shot at the Flyers, but then they started using their physical presence down low and created that foul because they are active and strong, and the push by Southern just trying to react to that size and strength.
So their third team foul as Williams gets rung up. Kamara underneath, now he's out high. In the lane, spins once, cuts back to his right, high off the glass, and in.
Again, the theme of the first 4 minutes is Dayton just imposing themselves physically on Southern. And you saw it again with Kamara just going down strong, taking his time, and going up and laying it off glass. Southern right now has no answer down low for the Dayton Flyers. And again, back to this zone.
Five on the shot clock. Head of the key. Long distance three is up. Back iron. Court is cleared by Kamara off the Williams miss.
Down low again. Taking your time. Yep. This team right now, Dayton, is showing the first 5 minutes of this game. You know what? They're playing tough tonight.
Second and two. In and out.
Boy, Southern's got to get down this court, get into their offense, and find a consistent scorer. And that's the way to do it.
How about that? Off the bench and into the game, Whitley drains the long distance shot. So it took to 15:43. Southern finally on the board, and the three looks a little bit better up against the 8. Quick hands. Sears got the ball back after the steal, but it isn't going to matter because Lyons is called for the offensive foul.
Boy, give Kamara some credit in transition, able to get his body in front. I'm not sure his feet were, boy, I'll tell you, that's a tough charge call right there. That is a tough charge call right there on Tyrone Lyons, because Kamara was moving, and that was not one where the offense really initiated the contact. I'm not sure the official would, if he sees that replay, would call that the same way. Again, down low.
Elvis, count it.
Nice. That's a game plan, Dwight. We can see Anthony Grant's game plan in action right now. It is get the ball down low. If those guys are free and able to take a shot, take a shot. If not, they've been coached to get the ball out to the shooter immediately. Dayton feels like Southern has a vulnerability down low. They can't check those guys one-on-one. They're going to have to double team. And when they do, Dayton's kicking it out for some easy threes. And now give Kobe Elvis some credit. He's making those shots.
Shot from the corner. Won't go. Blakeney on the board. Malachi Smith on the dribble. Left side of the lane, pulls up. Opposite side of the court. Baseline move, little fadeaway. Good.
Nice.
Well, Elvis is feeling it. He certainly hasn't left the building. It's 3 for 10.
And the guards are going to have a chance to shoot the ball. And Kobe Elvis said, I'm ready to do it.
Converted each of their last 3 field goal attempts at the Flyers, 5 of 7 overall. And they are widening the gap as they go to the bench, 13-3. Shooting 63% from the floor. That includes 67% from three-point range.
So now you see Coach Grant subbing in a few players, and the key is going to be, can these young men coming off the bench continue to give Dayton the physical play and the presence defensively and making shots that starting 5 gave them. It was a great 6 minutes from the starting 5. Now can the Dayton bench pick that up and keep the momentum going?
Weaver called for the foul. He's joined by Brea, Smith, Holmes, and Amziel on the floor.
And you know, the thing is with Dayton, everybody's young. I mean, you're not bringing in guys who have 3 years of experience, 4 years of experience. Everybody's coming in young, so you got to live through those growing pains of learning how to be a bench player. Can you play consistent like the starters? Good start there.
Good hands. Smith, he'll go it alone and convert.
Malachi Smith, as he will do, aggressive to the rim, athletic, able to make that shot over top of a Southern defender.
Southern breaks the pressure. Down and underneath, a little left-hander from Sears.
A little left-hander, almost a little traveling music too there. There was, I mean, that was like the old ABA, drag your pivot foot. By the way, everybody under 50 has no idea what I'm talking about with the ABA. That's all right.
Smith for three. Not this time.
But good job by Smith. Malachi Smith being aggressive. When he gets the ball back out, he's going to take the shot, and that's what he needs to do. This is an inside-outside focused offense tonight from Dayton, so the guard's got to be ready to shoot and not be afraid to shoot it. And Malachi Smith, I'm not sure that kid's afraid of anything.
Inside 13 to play here in half number one. 60% from the field, the Dayton Flyers, and finally Southern beginning to warm up a bit. Sadler converts the easy layup.
Yep, way too easy. That was a breakdown by Dayton on defense, allowed for the easy layup right to the rim, not even challenged.
Tangled up. Amsil on the baseline, loses the ball, but out of bounds it goes, and possession will stay at this end.
And Dwight, I think what you got in that first time out is Coach Sean Woods from Southern has challenged his team to play a little more physical, because they're out there, they're scrapping a little harder. I think everybody on the Southern bench kind of saw Dayton take it to them. You know, figuratively punch him in the mouth in the first 6 minutes, and Southern didn't react well. Now you can see people are starting to throw themselves around on each other. We're getting a little physical out there. I think Southern has been challenged by their coaching staff to match Dayton's toughness.
Amsil, as the shot clock runs down, finds the rim but nothing more, and an opportunity to cut into this deficit a bit more for Southern. Bird gives up the Holiday. Out top to Sadler. Pump fake. No go. .11:40 the time remaining here in the first half. Shot for three from Weaver, and that's long.
Tough shot. Tough shot a little early in the shot clock. Weaver aggressive, but nice block.
That was aggressive. And out the other end, Weaver!
You want to talk aggressive. Aggressive on one end defensively by Deron Holmes. Aggressive on the other end by Weaver, going hard to the rim.
Shot at the other end. Southern shot from distance for three.
Southern took the challenge from, probably a challenge from their coaching staff, to play more physical, and they have been. And I think you saw the substitutions come in from Dayton, and the level of play wasn't as high as it was with the starting five.
Smith lost control of that. He went driving to the basket. Floor broke his fall. Sadler. And now Bird.
And now Dayton back into that classic Dayton man-to-man. Tough defense where you just get down in your stance and stop somebody.
Good little entry pass.
Ooh,
tough shot.
nice.
Finished by Ewing, and he's fouled.
Jaquan Ewing going to the hole hard. I mean, this was 6'9" freshman going up. Got hit on his way through. Sissoko really did a good job of trying to challenge him, but he got his arm too far in to the body of Jaquan Ewing, and Ewing was able to take the contact and go up through it.
The first free throw attempt of the evening for Southern. Missed, and then quickly thereafter, foul is called. 6 now on Southern. We haven't quite hit the midpoint of the opening half.
Southern with a little bit of pressure, seeing with how Dayton handles it. Now they're going to trap in the corner, and it leads to a turnover. It wasn't a direct turnover as a result of the pressure. Just Mustafa Amzil just kind of lost sense of where he was and where everybody was going on the court. Little break in his mental concentration leading to the turnover, giving Southern the opportunity down 5. I mean, you got to give Southern credit. They have fought their way back into this game after it looked early like Dayton was going to be romping tonight. Now Dayton back in that zone.
Shot for 3, runs around, the rim won't go. Rebound, entry pass underneath, that's 3.
Well, let's see if Dayton started again. Here's that trap, a little bit of a full court press trap, and this is almost another steal here. Dayton's got to settle down with that press.
Good pressure from Southern.
But Dwight, have you seen the Southern's attitude just much more aggressive after that first 5-6 minutes where Dayton was taking it to them? Now Southern's like, we're taking it to you. And that full court press has started. They're playing more aggressive down low. But then you have plays like that. Great pass by Malachi Smith to Deron Holmes. And Holmes does what he does best, and that's be a great athlete.
So they end the drought to the Flyers, but at the other end, Whitley with a 3-pointer.
I mean, Breon Whitley, you've got to know where he is anywhere on the court. The kid shoots 43% from the 3-point line, which is fantastic. So he's going to shoot it every time he has a chance. Dayton has to know where Breon Whitley is.
Just a 2-point game.
Oh, boy.
Smith.
That looks like a layup, but that is a 9.7 on the list of difficulty.
Staying from the long distance. Shot for 3 this time. Won't fall for Bird.
Terrible shot by P.J. Bird, and he's going to come out of the game for it. Oh, wow.
Now Kamara.
I mean, you can see the difference physically in the starting 5 for Dayton. Their athletic ability, their aggressiveness with their athletic ability. Malachi Smith out there, Kamara, Deron Holmes. These are guys who have confidence in what they can do physically on the court. And when they're in there, it's a different tempo. They're taking it to Southern, as opposed, the bench guys came in and it was kind of like they were taking it from Southern.
The starting 5 has responded, and in rather dramatic fashion. It's a nice little pull-up floater from Holiday.
Great, that was good defense by R.J. Blakeney. Had a Holiday right on his have that experience.
Holmes converts, gets a second. It's a 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Gradually the lead creeps back up for Dayton. Not only 2 free throws made, they've hit 3 of their 3 for 3.
Oh, yeah.
Field, and then the turnover.
Great play. Greer able to knock that ball away on the Dayton's own little variety of full court press. What's good for the Goose. And Greer able to knock it away off the Southern player.
Holmes took his shot. Ball won't go down. And Southern into the front court. Brooks and then Williams.
Oh,
the left wing.
Long three off glass.
I think that was closer to the locker room. Doesn't go. Six-point lead, but Dayton with a chance to make it a 3-possession contest, but we get a foul on the Flyers.
Good call by the official. Kobe Elvis driving the baseline, wasn't able to get separation. In fact, didn't have the strength to get, to keep himself, from having pressure from his defender, and pushed off with his left arm as he tried to gain some ground on the baseline. That was a good call by the official.
Brooks tries to work it outside a double team. Finds help in the form of Holiday, and then he gets the ball back. 15 on the shot clock, just inside 7 minutes remaining in the first half.
And that little press just took about half the shot clock away from Southern, really forcing them to make a shot late in the shot clock. Anthony Grant wanted this.
They're going to have to find one. Long distance three. That's well off the mark. Shot clock violation.
And Dwight, that was all set up by Anthony Grant, going to the full court press, not really trying to steal the basketball, but more trying to make Southern take time off the clock, bringing the ball up the court. It worked. They got the ball across the half-court line with 19 seconds in the shot clock, and were never able to recover from that.
Elvis. Got
oh boy. Well, I'll tell you, that young man looks like he's averaging a heck of a lot more than 5.8 points a game. So in the first half, he's out there playing offensively with confidence, shooting it, driving it. Kobe Elvis.
10 feet off the baseline, back iron, one and done. Kamara pulls down the rebound, quickly pushes the ball ahead on the left side. Shot is up, blocked well from behind.
Good recovery that time by Southern. Dayton looked like they had the advantage in the pressure, but Southern able to recover and knock that ball away.
And the lane at the other end, and a kind bounce by Whitley. Each time Dayton looks like they're going to begin to reestablish a larger lead. Southern comes up with a stop and a conversion at the other end. Just under 50% now is their field goal shooting. And that's a travel.
Yep, R.J. Blakeney had a good idea going baseline, just kind of lost control of the ball. It got between his knees. He had to fall down to control it, and that's a travel. But you said it, Dwight. I mean, look, Blakeney goes baseline. I think it was a good aggressive attempt, but once he lost control of the ball, he was in trouble. But you can see that Southern has become more aggressive. Dayton has been able to, with their starters coming back on the court especially, they've been able to reassert themselves a little bit, but Southern has that hook in them where Dayton's not able to get too much sunshine right now from Southern. Again, pressure.
Southern trying to move the ball around. They find an open look from the corner. Won't go. Williams with the miss. Sears gets the rebound. No luck for him. And out of bounds possession with Flyers.
That's tough for Damian Sears. He catches the ball down on the rebound, has the ball right underneath the glass. Best thing to do, and it's hard to do for those big guys. You work so hard to get the rebound, and all the guards want you to do is pass it back to him so they can shoot it. And he wanted to take that ball up himself, but with so many Dayton Flyers standing around, especially Deron Holmes. I mean, that's a kid, Deron Holmes, you can't really expect to get the ball off when he's standing right waiting for you. You can't get it off without him adjusting it. And so I think Sears would have been better served to get that ball out of there.
Shot for three.
Tough shot.
Front iron. In the lane, Smith pull up that short.
Nice rebound.
Kamara's effort is slapped out of his hands. Possession remain with Dayton. And they got 19 on the shot clock, so no trouble there.
Boy, it is when Holmes and Kamara are in this game, it is different for Dayton down low. Southern is having a real tough time dealing with those two guys. Their size, their length, their athletic ability, their activity, how active and quick they are. They are getting rebounds. They are scoring points down low. It is tough for Southern.
High off the glass. This one won't go for Malachi Smith. Ball knocked out of bounds. but stays with Southern.
Even that rebound, it's a team rebound to Southern, but I tell you, Kamara and Holmes were down there. That was a up for grabs ball because they were getting inside position on the Southern guys. They're quick, they're athletic, and it's really tough to play defense in the post against guys like that, and to box them out is even more difficult.
Dayton's conversion rate has dropped below 50% for the first time this evening. They are 0 for their last 4. Southern, meanwhile, just trying to stay in the thing. Bird working on the dribble, and he's fouled. Baseline right of the hoop. Lobbed out into the backcourt. Rollins. Bird. Rollins for 3. That's well short, perhaps deflected on the way. Holmes fills the lane.
First half has been a danger zone for Dayton.
Up 7 after 1 free throw converted.
Dayton back into that zone.
Shot clock. 6. Entry pass stolen. Transition opportunity. There's help left and right. Kamara is the ladder. Gets the ball. Fires it across the court where it's deflected out of bounds.
That 1-3-1 zone for Dayton. You saw him trap in the corner. If it gets in 1-3-1 zone, you do not want to get the ball in the corner because it's naturally built to go trap you down there. That time Southern went right into the heart of the defense and led to a Dayton turnover.
The drought continues more than 3 minutes now for the Dayton Flyers. And that's been the story here in the first half. They've been hot, and when they are, they're really hot, and then they've gone for an over stretch. They extend that. The question is, can Southern take advantage? Shot for 3. Good rhythm there, but ball won't drop. Smith looks to break out quickly. Doesn't have an option he likes. Slows down.
Well, you asked the question, Dwight, can Southern take advantage? They have not done it in the last 3 minutes. I mean, Dayton has given Southern every opportunity to get right back up there and either tie this game or take the lead, and Southern unable to make the shots at the offensive end.
Closing in on a 4-minute scoring drought for the Flyers. A lot of traffic in the lane, and Holmes ends up losing the ball. Once again, the Jags an opportunity to cut in the deficit.
His
little no-look pass. And then nearly lost by Sears. Nearly the key word in that sentence.
I am just struck by how aggressive Southern is compared to what they were the first 6 minutes. Offensively and defensively, they are a different team just in terms of their mindset.
And they're hanging in.
Tough.
First shot doesn't go. Putback doesn't go. Wide open for 3 on the left. Brea can't convert. Now Bird.
Nice pass.
Gives it up to the trailer. Quick hands. Kamara on the deflection. So they're trading off scoring droughts. 4 minutes for Southern. In the last 2:16, Dayton's only point is the free throw.
Both teams, I think, playing good defense and getting opportunities, creating turnovers, getting some tough shots, getting good defensive rebounds, but not able to capitalize on the offensive end. Boy.
So Kamara says enough is enough, works his way in right underneath the basket for the easy finish. And again, it's that full court pressure from the Flyers.
Kamara's ability to play tough, strong. It's impressive. I mean, that kid really can impose himself on other players.
Perhaps a 2-for-1 exchange here in the final minute. No particular pressure on Bird. to the left wing. Little slip, 5 on the shot clock. Still working. Whitley, Bird. I don't think he realizes it, but the shot's up. And just in the nick of time, but it hits the front of the rim. And now the Flyers in control. Up 9.
Great opportunity for Dayton to make this a double-digit lead. You run a little offense, you get a good shot, you can go in the locker room up double digits, feeling pretty good about yourself in the first half if you're up double digits.
5 seconds. Southern bench says it's a travel. Officials disagree.
Coach Woods wanted Kamara for the travel going baseline. He does what Kamara does what he always does, and that is go to the rim hard.
There's no subtlety in him when he does that.
Oh. And he creates a crease. I mean, you know, you look at him, you say, okay, he's a pretty big guy. He's not going to be super quick, but he is for his size. And you underestimate that as a defender. And by the time you underestimate it, it's too late. He's got a half step on you. And with his athletic ability, a half step means he's on his way to the rim for a dunk.
Closing in on a double-double for Kamara. 9 rebounds. There's a shot at the buzzer.
I think physically you're going to see them compete with any team in the A-10. Mentally, can they step their game up?
Half number 2 begins with Southern possessing. Looking for a hot start to the second half and get this thing tight on the scoreboard, but the first effort is not going to drop. Last touched by the Flyers. Bertle inbounds. Blakeney in his face. Ten on the shot clock. Kick back out. Bird, quick look at the hoop. Gives up possession. Little right-handed floater, and that's off the mark for Williams. Taken back, and then contact in the lane, and that's going to be a foul on Lyons. He dropped his shoulder into the chest of Kamara.
Good call by the official. Tyrone Lyons got the steal. Wanted to take it right back to the hoop. And you got to give Toumani Kamara a great deal of credit. He got the ball ripped from him, but he had the presence of mind not to give up on it and to take the contact, to maintain his feet, take the contact. That was good, heady play, not letting a bad play, the steal, distract him.
Turnover for the Flyers. Back comes Southern, but one problem deserves another, apparently. Look at that long throw in the reverse underneath for Holmes, the second.
And speaking of keeping your head, Malachi Smith made a bad pass on the offensive end that led to a turnover on the attempted lob, but didn't give up on it. Once the ball got turned over, knocked it away in the full court and led to an easy basket by Dayton.
Bird, a step inside the arc, around the iron and out. Elvis pushes forward, gives it up underneath, and a second consecutive.
Really taking it to Southern, and again, Southern back on their heels. That aggressive play that they came out with about 6 minutes into the first half is kind of dissipated on them.
There's a good open look from Williams and a nice finish. Very soft through the net and an important three-pointer for the Jags. In the lane, Kamara goes to the hole and gets fouled.
Kamara wasn't really expecting that pass from Kobe Elvis. He was coming out to set a screen, and Elvis kind of tossed it to him, and he's like, okay, what do I do with it now? Well, I'll go to the rim. That's usually a good idea for Toumani Kamara.
Not afraid, is he?
And he's just so big and athletic. His ability to elevate over most players. You know, he's 6'8", but he plays a lot bigger than that because he's got long arms and he's just quick off the ground and elevates high. And once you're able to do that, you get a little space, it becomes really difficult to check somebody defensively who has that basic skill package. A little trap coming from behind.
top of the rest of his game. Now 13 points, 5 of 6 from the free throw line for Kamara. And that's an athletic, if not acrobatic, movement by Lyons. So an exchange of points. Still early in the second half. Sold out University of Dayton Arena. Cross court from Kamara, but it's grabbed by Lyons, who's trying to make his presence felt. Nearly has that pass stolen. In front of the Southern bench. Open look from the corner. Won't go.
Good rebound.
Sears hands it off to Lyons. And it goes to the far corner. Sadler, 10 on the shot clock. Little bounce pass underneath, turn, and that one was probably easier to make than miss, but it doesn't drop for Sears.
Boy, Sears going to be kicking himself on that one. He was right next to the rim.
Elvis had an open look, couldn't get it. Put back won't fall. Ball on the floor, then swatted up in the air. Empty possession for the home team.
And again, Dayton's activity on the offensive glass, you can see it there on R.J. Blakeney. Quick, long arms, just jumping out in that passing lane, disrupting the pass. But you can see Dayton, their athleticism is impressive, especially in the post. When they're able to get to a lot of offensive rebounds, the teams, sometimes they don't have the ability to get there because they don't have that natural athletic ability. Tough shot.
Rebound,
Gift.
nope, tie up. Sadler made it an adventure, and actually they're going to call a foul there. I thought it was going to be a alternating possession, but such is not the case. Sadler to the free throw, and just the second free throw attempt on the night for Southern. Welcome to Dayton. Good.
Jaden Sadler ended up kind of in no man's land, taking a kind of a tough, bad shot, but was the beneficiary of the ball just kicking around in there, and probably one of the smallest guys on the court. Stood there and got an offensive rebound 3 feet away from the rim in the middle of the trees.
His best game came in late February of last season, where he had 19 points and 8 assists.
Southern putting a little pressure on Dayton, seeing they can handle a little their own medicine. Oh, that's a travel. Not called by the official. That should have been a travel.
Smith at the other end. Shot is short. Gets his...
Right where they were at halftime. Now, that's not going to help them in the long run. You don't want to be right where you were down 11. But at least they didn't, we talked about it. This could be a situation where Dayton could extend the lead and take control of the game. Southern still in the mix here.
It's been a streaky game for Southern. It's a rare missed free throw, but Smith ends up with the ball.
Well, you can't do that. I mean, you just can't do that. Malachi Smith with the easiest rebound he's ever going to have in his life.
Don't want to leave Amsil open. Not this time, though. Break for Southern. .11-point game. Flyers have led throughout.
Oh, boy.
A couple of big guys coming together on that effort. Open Amsil again.
Yeah, you said it, Dwight, earlier. You can't leave Mustafa Amsil alone from that three-point line. Twice he had an opportunity. He was 1 for 2. But if he gets his feet set, he's going to make those shots more often than not.
This foul's going to go against Southern.
Amsil very settled in that corner, just waiting for the ball. He knew what was going to happen. Kobe Elvis drew the defender to him. Amsil just calmly stepped up and made the shot after missing the one just minutes before. Good to see him make some shots. He has a world of talent. You just wonder, where's the consistency? This young man is as good of a player as you're going to find coming off the bench in the Atlantic 10 Conference. I mean, that kind of talent coming off the bench. can be a great asset for the Flyers if you can get consistency and confidence from him.
That was Lyons' 4th foul, by the way. And we've got a foul on Smith. 1v1 situation in the basket. But I want to say about Lyons picking up his 4th foul, he's a guy that had the athleticism and size really to match up. And now he's going to be watching for a while.
Yeah, we featured him to start this game. There's a reason why he's their best player. That time, Malachi Smith gets called for the foul. Looked like just, the feet got tripped up. A little incidental contact with the feet. I guarantee you Malachi Smith is thinking, boy, if I was going to get called for the foul, I might as well earn it. Wheels wobbly a little bit for Southern right now. They can't seem to really make any shots consistently, including shots from the free throw line, which are just killers.
42-28 it remains. 14 and a half to play here in half number 2.
Southern shooting 40% from the free throw line. That's not going to get it done even on a good day.
Underneath, little off balance was Holmes. Couldn't bring the ball down. Southern in transition. It's Johnson. Right side of the lane is Sadler. Lobs all the way out into the corner. And a little handsy from Amseal. That is his first.
That time, good ball movement by Dayton, moving the ball around, by Southern, moving the ball around, forcing Dayton to move their feet, and eventually led to a foul by Amseal as he had to come out and challenge, but wasn't able to keep his feet moving and stay in front of the defender without holding.
Scoring drought, 2 minutes plus, and it'll continue to count. They've now missed 6 consecutive field goal attempts, has Southern.
Deron Holmes has the ability to close on you and block your shot when you're thinking you're in the clear. I mean, that was a great example, that last block, where he was 4 or 5 feet away from the shooter, and the shooter thinking, I got plenty of time here. I'm going to get this ball off easy, and suddenly, bang! Deron Holmes is in your face, and he's blocking your shot. And you're thinking, where did that come from? That's how quick he gets off the ground, how long his arms are, and how high and much space he can cover with his athletic ability.
Away from the ball. That foul will go against Johnson, his first and the team's 6th of the half. We still got a long way to go.
Yeah, neither one of these teams in an offensive rhythm. It's a little choppy. The game's a little choppy on the offensive end. Nobody's really settling in the second half to make shots and run their offense consistently. If Dayton can do that, they're going to put a big lead on Southern. If Southern can do it, they'll get back in this game. One way to get offensive consistency and get some rhythm is to bury an NBA 3.
I was going to say, that one's from the parking lot.
Jeez. Kobe Brea just said, I'll give you your rhythm right now.
Oh, nice little combination and underneath. And finally a response after missing 6 consecutive field goal attempts and a scoring drought, a tick short of 3 minutes. Wide open look. Why not? Amseal underneath has his pocket picked.
And a great box out by Jason Holiday. Had Deron Holmes behind him. Holiday giving up like a foot.
There's the answer at the other end for Whitley.
Breon Whitley, that's what he does. He buries threes. Can't leave him alone in transition.
Leads the Jags in scoring. In fact, leads the game in scoring now at 14 points.
And Southern just hanging around. Every time it looks like Dayton is going to start pushing away, Southern fights back to that 10, 11, 12 point spot. The question is, can they push past that 10, 11, 12 point deficit and make a game of it? Or can Dayton extend the lead and make it 20? Nice pass.
And a nifty little finish. Seal just up, and a nice little floater from close range.
Boy, you can just see the confidence in Kobe Elvis growing every single play. Young man has a lot of talent. Again, came in averaging under 6 points a game. He looks like, you know, a kid who's averaging 16 points a game.
Shot is long. Smith, great little entry pass. Wide open, shot from the corner, won't go. Rebounds. Holmes.
Nice.
Seal.
Ron Holmes showing a maturity about him, even for a young freshman, getting a great offensive rebound, but instead of trying to force it against two players, made a nice little pass for the assist to Seal.
Mentioned Whitley leading all scorers with 14 points. Kamara sitting on the double-double, 13 points, 10 boards. Elvis cleans up. Inside 11 minutes remaining. Lob in lane, spin move.
It hasn't. They've built a 16-point lead. Have the Flyers by really just out-toughing their opponent and playing some pretty good defense, getting the ball down low, getting some buckets in transition, getting second chance points on the glass. You know, they've been able to really exert themselves physically, and I think that's a great thing for Anthony Grant. I know he's happy to see that, but I think he wants to see his team close now. I mean, you're up 17. The sign of progress for these young kids is being able to put a team away, not let them come back to 10, not let them come back to 8. Can you take a 17-point lead at 10:38 and make it 25 by the under 8 timeout or by the 6-minute mark? And make no doubt in this, can Dayton do that? Is that growth yet there?
Defense altered the shot. It doesn't drop. Well, if you like the numbers, Dayton shooting just under 49% from the floor, including 31% from three-point range, and nearly 72% as a team from the free throw line. Blakeney.
R.J. Blakeney had a wide open, easy shot from the three-point line. It wasn't more difficult enough for him, so he decided to drive into the entire Southern defense and do a fadeaway one-hand off glass.
No hesitation on that long-distance three-pointer. Whitley can't get it to drop. Into the corner, pump fake, entry pass, kick to the opposite side, shot for three, count it.
There you go. Great post passing. Started with Deron Holmes reversing the ball. Then with Seal getting the ball down low, reversing it to Malachi Smith, who buries a three. Excellent ball movement by the big guys, and Malachi Smith being ready to put the ball down from the three-point line. And now we talked about it. Now Dayton up 22. You know, this team is starting to exert itself on this Southern basketball team. Oh, hello.
That ends dramatically so. A 10-0 run for the Dayton Flyers and a 3+ minute scoring drought. Blakeney draws the foul.
Well, you got to like R.J. Blakeney. He's not comfortable in space. He wants bodies banging off on when he has the basketball. He feels comfortable in that physical play. But watch this pass. Watch this pass out to the corner, back down on the post, back on the other side. It's impossible to play defense against that type of ball movement. When you're a team and the ball is moving like that, you're helter-skelter because you are way behind. The other team is controlling you. Dayton whipsawing it back and forth and using their big guys to reverse the basketball really gives them advantage. And that time, you know, Malachi Smith was a beneficiary because he gets a wide open three, able to take his time and make the shot.
Blakeney converts. And does so again.
You know, good teams have R.J. Blakeney's on them. You know, good teams that win games, that compete for conference championships. I mean, R.J. Blakeney's not going to score 30 points on you. But what he's going to do is he's going to play great defense. He's going to be in the right spot. He's going to compete. He's going to make contact with people. It's not going to be easy on the defensive end. He's a guy who he eats minutes. and he gives you solid effort. And that championship teams win like that. Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Williams going to the rim hard. Watch this nice little bounce. Talk about reverse, nice pass. Nice reverse pass, and Williams was in the corner just hiding, waiting for that opportunity.
Just the 6th free throw of the night for Southern. They had missed 3 of the previous 5. And now as a team, 3 of 6. 3 of 7. Extending their pressure, the Jags. The Flyers able to manage it. Lynn Greer out of Philadelphia, PA via the IMG Academy. Sissoko brings in a significant physical presence. Long three-pointer, misses, long rebound. Shot for 3. Nice touch. The finish from Rollins. Turnover on the press. Oh. And then Weaver says, all right, I'm going to make up for my mistake.
And rebound, and they're gonna put a few extra points on that one, because right now Dayton is whipping Southern on the glass. 17-7 in the second half. Rebounding advantage +10 in the first 13 minutes. Dayton now out rebounding Southern by 16, 36-20. That is Dayton really exerting themselves on the glass. Something I guarantee Anthony Grant's happy about, because if you're going to be in the A10, if you have the athletes Dayton has in the post, you've got to have those guys be physical and get on the glass and make things happen.
Some trouble getting that ball into the front court, the Dayton Flyers, but they manage after the Williams shot. The issue for the Jags is they took up a ton of shot clock time, and they can't afford that if they have any hope of closing the gap here. Shot for 3 as the shot clock expires. Put back is good.
R.J. Blakeney, he's where he's supposed to be just about every time you look at him. I mean, that gives your coaching staff a lot of comfort, knowing that one of your 5 guys is going to be most likely going to be in the exact spot he's supposed to be in, offensively, defensively. That's what R.J. Blakeney does.
Greer, the third, picks up the foul. His first.
Well, if you're Southern, your time is now. Down 18 with 6 minutes to go. You got to score in bunches here, and that's not the way to do it. Uh-oh. Oh, he got fouled too.
Weaver on the steal and the flush at the other end. Going to go ahead and give him credit, even though he didn't quite get the dunk that he wanted. Nonetheless, he converted.
By the way, that conversion was more impressive than it looked, because he got chucked on the way up, was able to fight through it and make that layup, even though he got a little bit of a hand, right to the chest.
Williams heating up a bit. He's got 12 points now.
Southern hanging around, and it was 23. Now they're down to 17. But a lot of good things have to happen to Southern in a row if they're going to make this game interesting in the last few minutes. And that starting front court for Dayton out there again. They've had so much success.
Lyons for 3. And suddenly the Jags hardly missing. But is it too little too late? We've got 5 minutes and change to sort that out.
I think Malachi Smith coming back in the game here to give Dayton a little more stability at that guard position. That press has been causing a little havoc. And now another turnover by Dayton.
Five minutes to play. Bounce pass off the right side of the lane. Shot is up and the shot is in.
And have hope. Trap on the baseline.
And the hope comes not just from the 8-0 run you referenced, but the fact that they did it in 49 seconds.
Right. And this press causing another turnover.
Shot for three. Not this time.
Gutsy rebound.
Tap out leads to another three-point attempt, and that one is perfect for Bird.
Give Terrell Williams, who got a hand on that, knocked it out against two Dayton Flyers. Give him a lot of credit. That was a tremendous play that will never be in the stat sheet.
And the capacity crowd at UD Arena senses.
But they got a basketball game on their hands.
Yes, they do. This full court press has created some problems.
Dwight, this is why you want to put teams away, because you never want to play these minutes when a team's coming at you and they're pressing you and you're turning the ball over and you're trapped right there in the corner. Dayton not thinking offense when they have the ball. They're just thinking survival. Get the ball across the timeline. And Southern doing a really good job of being in every passing lane and double teaming and trapping everybody. Even right now, pressure on Malachi Smith.
For three from the corner, in and out. Won't drop for Elvis. Lyons is back in. He's got his 4 fouls and his shot is blocked. And a tie up. Both teams showing some athleticism, trying to track that ball down.
Deron Holmes, his ability to close on you and just, I mean, you think the shot's going to be able to get up, and he is just right there. Double team. Got to get rid of it. Yep, timeout. Tough to get it in bounds. No timeouts left. Oh, turnover again.
Chance for Southern.
Boy, this pressure has wreaked havoc for Dayton in the second half. Got to make it up with defense here. You got to just get down in your stance and get tough if you're Dayton Flyers.
Looking to extend an 11-0 run. Nearly turned over, and now it is. And there's an opportunity for Dayton to get forward quickly, but Greer the third held up and then threw the ball away.
Yeah. You got to give Southern credit. This pressure, and not even wasn't full court pressure. That was just getting on a man and trying to create some havoc. They can smell blood when it comes to Dayton bringing the ball up the floor. You can see that Dayton's not comfortable handling that pressure.
3 minutes. Up for an attempted block from behind, but the foul is called. And that is Holmes picking up his second.
Holmes comes from behind. Didn't seem like there was much contact, but Lyons going to the rim hard. Boy, this has been an Achilles heel for the Southern Jags. Only 3 of 7, 3 of 8 from the free throw line. Yeah. Yikes.
And when you're down 9, you look at that, you say 3 or 4 more free throws.
Oh boy, different game.
Kamaro's got to get involved again. He's got 13 points, 10 rebounds. He's been sitting on those numbers for quite a while. Second free throw's good.
Here we go. Pressure. How do you handle it? Good job that time by Malachi Smith to get aggressive. That's how you beat a press. You get the ball in bounds and you go hard at them. Don't get on your heels. Don't let them set the tempo. Grab the ball, go.
So a chance to create some more breathing room. Quickly lost on yet another turnover. Cross-court pass, shot for 3. No. Battle in underneath. And the possession arrow points the way of the Jaguars. 20 turnovers now for the Dayton Flyers.
And a lot of those have come on this press. A lot of them. Again, this is a practice point. I can guarantee you, the next few days, Dayton's going to be practicing press offense. That was too easy that time. Nice job by Lyons to use the rim to shield Deron Holmes. Okay, two possession game. You got to get down the court and get across the timeline.
A little bit out of control. Southern bench says there's a travel, but there is a foul called.
I'll tell you, Kobe Elvis, very, very fortunate not to have turned that ball over. That ball was loose and bouncing, and he just happened to be the one to get back to it before the foul happened. But that was a 50-50 ball for a while there in a two-possession game with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left to go.
First free throw is good. And contrasting the troubles from the free throw line for Southern, Dayton Flyers have been very successful. 12 of 16.
Well, the old announcer jinx.
Yeah. Shut my mouth next time. Nearing the 2-minute mark in what has gone from being a comfortable double-digit lead. Shot won't go. Swatted away last touch.
Open for a three. That's what I'm thinking.
Good defensive pressure by the Flyers on the inbounds. Force the ball out. Now to the wing. Shot is up.
Oh.
Shot is in for Lyons.
Whoa. Nice shot by Lyons. It's a 4-point game and pressure. That kick ball by Southern. Boy. Anthony Grant on the sidelines, emphatically coaching his team on how to break that press. But that was a great shot by Lyons. And give him credit. He had Kamara right in his face, and he was able to bury that three.
17-1 run over the last 4:08. Better that time by Dayton to work out of the pressure. All the way to the hoop. Reverse.
Oh. Wow. What a highlight reel shot that was.
Trying to stay in this one. Looking for the hot hand. Dribbling the lane in traffic. Shot is up. Got some spin. Won't go. Flyers rebound. And foul.
Boy. That's what a great athletic play will do for your team. Watch Kobe Elvis drive and then spin, looking a no-look spin off the glass. I mean, again, he came in averaging 5.8 points a game. Typically, guys who average 5.8 points a game can't do that. they just can't. It's not part of their skill set. Yet he has 13 points. Tonight and has at times, at big stretches of times, been the best offensive player for Dayton. That's when we talk about this talent, the talent of this team. There are gems like Kobe Elvis who have yet to develop to the player they're going to be. And Kamani Kamaro getting a huge rebound. Now, if you're Southern, you probably got to think about fouling. Down 3 possessions. Yeah, these are precious seconds ripping off.
So they're down 4. Thought they had a turnover, but it was a kick. And it turned into 2 points the other direction, but this one will not go to the favor of the home team.
That's a good call by the official. Kamara, you got to appreciate his aggressiveness, but the Southern defender was there waiting for him. We better serve to just pull that out or take the jump shot. Southern's got to get a quick bucket here. Doesn't have to be a 3, just got to get 2. Well, that's a foul.
Smith into the shoulder of Bird. Given their struggles from the free throw line, maybe not a bad place to send them.
Yeah, usually you don't want, let teams shoot, score from the stripe when the clock's not running, but, for Southern, shooting 44% from the line, it might not be a bad strategy.
First one's good.
Boy, if you're Dayton, if he makes this, you know what's happening. Time to steel yourself to that full court press. Be ready for it.
Second good.
Set your press offense. Everybody getting spots. Start to make some screens. Move, move, move. Good play by the big guy. Big guys always break zones.
And a foul called as Sadler went after that pass. Didn't miss it by much.
Yep. Good job by Dayton that time to utilize Tamani Kamara coming up on the zone press offense. When you got a team that's matching up and trying to trap, they typically focus on the guards, and sometimes they forget about that guy, the big guy taking the ball out of bounds. That time Dayton was able to, beat the double team by kicking it back to the big guy coming out after he threw the ball in. Here's a big shot.
Greer connects on the first.
These are pressure free throws. This is a pressure free throw for Greer. Again, growing point. Does he make the shot? Put him up 3 possessions.
Shot is long.
Oh.
And the ball falls kindly for Kamara. Good work on his part.
Got to foul if you're Southern. You got to foul. Got to foul. Gots to foul.
Able to run off quite a bit of clock, the Dayton Flyers. It looked initially like it just didn't click into Southern because there was no pressure at all, and then suddenly started chasing.
Well, that's a clutch rebound off the free throw for Dayton, and a big mental error for Southern. But quite very fitting that Dayton, what do they lean on in terms of their advantage in the last minute of the game? Rebounding. That has been a big key for them. They are plus 16 in this game against Southern. They're big guys. They deserve a steak after this game. Got to bury this free throw.
Dayton was shooting about 75% from the free throw line, but that has dropped off here late. In fact, they're down to 65%.
Because these are pressure free throws, and these are young kids, and this you learn how to make pressure free throws by doing it. There you go. All right, now if you're Dayton, no fouls. You don't want any fouls. You defend, get in line in front of people, make them take clock. Clock is your friend. No fouls. Oh boy, that's close. That was close to a foul by Covey Elvis.
Shot for 3. Nope. Struggle for the rebounds. And Bird goes in and hits Elvis and is called for the foul is Bird. Down to 12 seconds. So a game that was in the second half well under control on the scoreboard for the Flyers. Credit to Southern. They got back to within 4. Thought they had that turnover when it turned out to be a kicked ball, and have not been able to really take advantage since.
This is why you got to put teams away when you're up 16 and 17 with 8, 9, 10 minutes left to go, because the game can go. You're at the crossroads. The game can go 2 different ways. You can put them down 23, 24, 25, get it inside of 5 minutes, and you're feeling pretty good about yourself. Or you can get down into that 10-point range with like 4 or 5 minutes left, and the other team starts to smell a chance, and then suddenly it's a 4-point game with a minute and a half left, and you're helter-skelter trying to get the ball up the court. These, again, learning points for this young Dayton team. Learning how to win is important for any young team.
That ball out of bounds off of Smith. The only thing in doubt at this stage is the final score. Little pull-up jumper, won't go. And